Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Driving. Welcome you to the second round coverage of the Worst on Worst tournament. That's 16 teams randomly get selected of the 11 seasons that I have in this game, and you know how shitty they were. Look at the bracket. Columbus won its 7 games against the 91 Nordiques. 25 Columbus. 71 California. Golden Seals with 75 caps. The 2022 Habs swept the 23 Blackhawks. The 06 Blues swept the 75 Royals. Scouts, 91 Leafs beat the 65 Bruins in Game 7. They actually were down 3-1. 94 Ottawa took down the 68 Seals in 7. 84 Penguins beat their Devils rivals in 6. And the 06 Penguins beat the 2012 Oilers. So now we got ourselves that. We're going to just autoplay and all that. Columbus winning game 4-2 with Steve Mason. Kitchener beat Gary Suitcase Smith. So the 2012 Jackets against the 71 Seals, 4-2. Columbus goes by Mark Letestu, Derek Brassard, Václav Prospel, and Derek Brassard again. California goes by Bill Hick, who scored twice, who the Habs traded to California to get their number 1 pick. Ottawa beat Toronto 3-2 as Marc Laforêt, former Leaf goalie, took on Peter Ing. Toronto's 2 goals by Gary Leeman and Dave Reed. Ottawa goes by Alex Day, Troy Millette, and Dan Quinn. 84 Penguins beat the 06 Penguins 4-3 as Vincent Tremblay beat Sebastian Caram. The 84 team had Todd Henrich, Doug Shedden, and Mike Bullard, his 9th, making it 4. The 06 Penguins, Sidney Crosby, his 8th, and then his 9th, and then Leclerc his 3rd. So Crosby's been scoring goals left, right, and center. And the 06 Blues won 7-5 against the 22 Habs as Lalim took down Jake Allen in a goal fest. St. Louis, Dean McCammon, Scott Young, Reed Johnson, Jamal Myers, Keith Kachuk, Dean McCammon, and then Eric Brewer. Montreal goals by Joe Anderson, Randy Picklick, I guess that's his name. Anderson, his 4th. Cole Caulfield, it's Josh Anderson, and Anderson with the hat trick. And a loss. Game 2, Toronto beats Ottawa 7-4 as Ing beat Laforêt, and the Leafs split this game. Toronto goals by Daniel Marois, then Vinny Damphousse. Yeah, he was a Leaf. Damphousse with the hat trick, and then it was Rob Ramage, Kevin McGuire, and then Vinny Damphousse' 7th. 4 for the day. Goals for Ottawa, Yashin, Rasika, Bradshaw, and Daig. The 06 Penguins win 6-2 the split. Jocelyn Thibault beat Marshall Dion. The 06 team, Colby Armstrong, John Leclerc, Sid the Kid, his 10th. Paul Fee, Ryan Malone, and then Crosby his 11th. Trying to add on to the goal scoring. The 84 Penguins, Ron Flockhart, and Mike Bullard. Bullard at his 10th. The 22 Habs won 5-2 as Jake Allen beat Reinhard Davis. Montreal goes by Peseta, Romanoff, Caulfield, and then Evans. St. Louis goes by Stepniak and Orzak. And finally, Columbus 4-2 win, so they are halfway there. As Curtis Sanford beat Snedden. Columbus goes by Finney Prospel, Ron Johansson, Rick Nash, and Danner McKenzie. California goes by O'Donoghue and Hardy. Game 3 saw the 06 Penguins win 3-2 as Marc-Andre Fleury beat Michel Dion. The first 3 goals by the 06 Penguins, Pirata, Leclerc, and Colby Armstrong. Doug Shedden and Ron Flockhart for the other guys. St. Louis wins 4-1 in Montreal as Patrick Lalime takes down Jake Allen. Montreal did score Joe Armia, but then Doug Drake, Scott Young, Mike Glumac, and Jamal Myers scored. Columbus won 4-2 against California. Steve Mason takes down Smith, so Columbus is 1 win away from going for the sweep. Rick Nash, Derek Brassard, Jack Johnson, and then Nash's 11th. The 4 goals after California made it 2-0. Carol Fatney and Norm Ferguson. And then Ottawa in overtime in Toronto as Darren Madeley took down Peter Ing. Ottawa goes in regulation by Dennis Biel. He's a goal scorer. Dave McElwain and Scott Lavins. Toronto goes Dave Hannon, Dave Elliott, and Dave Reed. The Dave trio. by Dave McElwain in the 6th minute from Yashin and Dag. Made it 4-3 for the 94 Senators. Game 4s. St. Louis wins 5-3. They are now 1 win away as Laline beat Montembeault. Montreal goals in regulation by Matthew Perreault, Leo Dauphin, and Dauphin again. By St. Louis goals by Peter Chayatic, Vladdy Orsod, Dean McCammon, Jay McClement, and Keith Kachuk. Columbus beats California 5-1 as Steve Mason beats Suke Smith, and Columbus looks like they're trying to be the best of the best. Columbus technically were the worst team in 2012 by points, worse than Edmonton, but they didn't get the number 1 pick. Columbus, 5 goals, Derek Brassard, flat, 30 crossbow, Rick Nash, Ryan Johansson, and then Johansson again. Dennis Hextall for California, 5-1. So the 71 Seals, the 1-seed are gone. Gary Smith ended up 3-4. Chris Murphy and Bob Snedden. They should have went with other guys. Points wise, Gary Cruchot with 11 led. See all those guys. Other game 4s. Ottawa won 6-3, so Ottawa's up 3-1. Craig Billington beat Pickering. Ottawa goals in regulation by Sylvain Turgeon, Alex Dag, Brian Lauer, Dag again, then Dave Archibald and Alex Yashin. Toronto goals by Daniel Marois, Vince Dompouz, and Michel Petit were all for naught. And Toronto again are down 3-1. They're in trouble. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh, the 06 Penguins are 1 win away as Caron beat Heron. 06 Penguins got Eric Christensen, Colby Armstrong, and Michel Ouellette. Maxime Ouellette scoring in regulation. 84 Penguins, Doug Shedden, Schmidt, and Andy Brickley. Ryan Whitney, the hero for the 06 Penguins. Game 5s saw Ottawa win 5-1 as Billington beat Ing, and the 94 Senators are in the Final Four. Unbelievable. 91 Leafs cannot come back for 3-1 again. Marois scored his 4th. McElwain scored a hat-trick for 9. Dag and McBain with the goals. As Ottawa wins 5-1, the 91 Leafs are OUT. As Ing was 4-6, Reese was 1-1, but Ing just lost his touch. 15 points by Vincent Dompouz. Krzyzewski got 10 points. Not bad. See the names of the 91 Leafs. Marois, Wendell Clark, Dave Reed, Dave Hannon, Michel Petit, Dave Ellett, Rob Ramich, Gary Lehman, Peter Cecil, Doug Shedden, Brian Bradley, Kevin McGuire, Mike Maffolino, Aaron Broad, and Todd Gills Thibodeau, Lucien Debois, and Rob Sameta. Meanwhile, the 06 Penguins cannot finish off in 5. They lose 3-2 as Michel Dion beat Justin Thibault. The 06 squad's Crosby got 2 goals. He's got 13 now. For the 84 squad, Pat Boutet, Nate Schmidt, and then Terrio Regan. In the meantime, St. Louis won 4-1 as Sanford beat Montembeault, and the 06 Cardinals, the 06 Blues won that series. Montreal got Mike Hoffman scoring a goal. Kitchener native, but not for the Rangers. Scott Young with a hat trick, and Keith Kachuk with his 4th. So the 22 Habs are OUT. Jake Allen 5-2, Montembeault 0-2. Caulfield 10 points, Suzuki 9, Josh Anderson 6, Michael Passetta 6, Laurent Dauphin, Chris Weidman, John Bedruin. Anyway, the Battle of the Penguins sees the 06 squad win 4-3. Thibault beats Dion, so the 06 Penguins move on to the semifinals. Goals by Sergei Gonchar, Max Talbot, Ryan Malone, and Siggy Palffy. Triumph over Bullards, 2 goals for 12 and Taylor. The 84 Penguins are out. Michel Dion 2-3, Teddy Herron 2-2, Roberto Romano 1-1, and Vincent Tremblay 1-0. So they just couldn't decide who was the main guy. Mike Bullard took 21 points and shut him with 12. This is the year before Lemieux came in. So the Final Four is set. St. Louis will face Columbus, the 06 Blues, who got the number 1 draft pick and used it for Eric Johnson against the 2012 Columbus team that should have been number 1 pick, but they didn't win the draft lottery. There was Edmonton. The 94 Penguins and the 94 Senators and the 06 Penguins. 4-5 matchup would definitely be an 18 thing, would be in the quarterfinals, but now they're in a semifinal against each other. 94 Sens, the year after they tanked for Alex Stagg and lived to regret it. They were the worst team in the NHL, but I think they were not given their morning pick because of their stupidity. And the 06 Penguins, who, well, Sidney Crosby's rookie campaign, but they still sucked. So, got that. Let's look at the summary. Goal scoring. Crosby has 13. Mike Bullard of the 84 Penguins, who are out, with 12, and 12 from Rick Nash. Dave McElwain has 9. Who the heck is this Dave McElwain? I think he is. Assist-wise, Yashin, 16 assists for the 94 Senators. Nice job. Not being a prima donna. Crosby, 13 assists for the 06 Penguins, still around. Gary Courteau, Ryan Malone, Ryan Whitney. Lots of 9s. Points-wise, 26 points by Crosby. Number 1, Mike Bullard. Number 2, but he's out. Yashin with 20 points, so Crosby's putting up the numbers. Jason Wisniewski, 9 assists without a goal. Steve Mason leads the goaltending with a 201 goals against. Craig Billington, second for the 94 Penguins. Sebastian Caron for the 06 Penguins. He's 2-4, yeah, he has a 266 goals against. Better than Jake Allen, who was 5-2 with a 3 goals against. So that kind of does not make sense. It doesn't pass the sniff test. But yeah, Steve Mason looks good. Highlights, you see that. 9 hat tricks to be had. Josh Anderson's hat trick wasn't a loss, the only one. Most memorable game, St. Louis against Kansas City, Oakland against the 68 Seals, and Pittsburgh against New Jersey. Those are the 3-star games right now. So let's go quickly to second chance wars, because these are the 8 teams that lost the first round playoffs. The 23 Blackhawks against the 91 Nordiques, the 75 Caps against their neighbors, the 75 Scouts, the 2012 Oilers against the 65 Bruins, and the 84 Devils against the 68 Seals. Now, these were randomly selected. So anyway, we're going to keep going with another tier. Now, whoever wins these 4 matchups, it doesn't matter who wins, it's who loses. So anyway, let's go to game 1. First one is Chicago beating Quebec 3-1 as Alex Stalock beat Ron Tubnut. Chicago goes by Jason Dickinson, Ryan Johnson, and Boris Kachuk. Joel Sakic for the 91 Nordiques. Washington wins 5-2 as Ron Lowe beats Denny Herron. Big win for Washington. Smith, Gilbertson, Yvonne Lebra with 2 goals, and Atkinson. Kansas City goes by Guy Charon and Nick Dubé. Overtime heroics by Edmonton. They win as Hubby Bullen beats Eddie Johnston. Edmonton goes in regulation by Ron Smith and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Ed Westfall and Johnny Busick for Boston. But in overtime, it was Cam Barker from Jones and Schmid. And in the meantime, Oakland won in overtime on the 84 Devils as Chico Resch lost to Gary Suitcase Smith. Oakland goes in regulation by Ted Hampson and Caron. Ron Meager and Trevor Higgins, I guess that's his name, scored for the Devils in regulation by Charlie Burns at minute 43 from Hampson and Erickson. Won in overtime. Game 2's Kansas City won in overtime against Washington's McDuff. Leadoff McDuff beats Ron Lowe. Tommy Williams scored for Washington, but then Wilf Paymont and Brent Hughes for Kansas City. Edmonton again winning in overtime as Hobby Bullen takes down Johnston. Nugent-Hopkins and Smith did score in regulation. Fleming scored both goals for Boston, but in overtime, Taylor Hall from Nugent-Hopkins, the true number 1 pick. Oakland wins 3-1 over the 84 Devils as Gary Smith beats Ron Lowe. Hick, Boyer, and Charlie Burns for Oakland. Billy McMillan for the Devils. And finally, Chicago wins 5-3. They lead 2-0 as Soderblom beats Jacques Lucier. Chicago goes by Murphy, Seth Jones, Taylor Radish, Kurashev, and Jared Tenorti. Quebec goes by Joel Sakic, Tony McKechnie, and Joe Sakic. Game 3's sees Edmonton win 3-2, so Hobby Bullen beats Johnston. Boston was up 2-0, Nibs and Ed Westfall, but Edmonton goes by Taylor Hall, Alex Hemsky, and Sean Horkoff. And the 65 Bruins are in deep trouble. They're down 3-0. This was the team, of course, that had a 3-1 series lead on the 91 Leafs and fucked it up. Devils win 3-1 to cut that deficit down. Ron Lowe beats Charlie Hodge. Devil goes by Jan Ludwig with 2, and Bromwell. Oakland go by Jerry Eman. Quebec won 4-3 as Scott Gordon beat Sutter Bloom. Chicago goes by Avidasiju, Taylor Radish, and Ryan Johnson. Quebec goes by Tony Herkach, Curtis Lucian, Scott Pearson, and Joe Sakic. Pearson, one of the Leafs' first-round picks in '89, they wasted on. And finally, Washington wins 4-1 in Kansas City as Belle Humeur, good humor bar, beats McDuff's. Washington goes by Ace Bailey, not that one, the Ace Bailey who died at the World Trade Center. Bill Mickelson, Phil Lisick, and Peter Nicholson. Robbie Burns for Kansas City. And the game fours saw the Devils win 2-1 as Chico beats Hodge. Devils goes by Dion Lever and Paul Gagne. Ted Hempstead for Oakland. Quebec wins 4-1 to tie that series up. John Tanner beats Alex Stalek. Chicago did score with Seth Jones, but Stefan Morin, Joe Sorella, and then 2 goals by Joey Sakic. Kansas City wins 3-2 to tie that series up as Danny Heron beat Ron Lowe. Kansas City goes by Wilf Paymont, Samuel Nole, and Randy Rhoda. John Lynch and Sam Atkinson for the Capitals. And finally, the 65 Bruins win 4-3. Johnson beats Dubnyk, and Boston survives. Edmonton was up. Well, anyway, Taylor Hall, Sam Gagne, and Nugent Hopkins had scored. Boston goes by Ed Westfall, Johnny Busick, Ted Green, and then Murray Oliver with 5 seconds left. We could have went to overtime. Maybe Edmonton would have won. Anyway, game 5s. Sees Quebec win 3-2 as Jean Cloutier beats Peter Mrazek. Big win for Quebec. Mike Huh, Kitchener, and Everett Sanipass scored for Quebec. Then Johnson and Bjork for Chicago, but Scott Pearson, his second of the series. And Washington wins in overtime 5-4 as Lowe beats Heron. Washington was up 4-1, goals by Lezak, Anderson, Marson, and Cowick. Kansas City go Real Lemieux, and then in the third period by Randy Rhoda, Nick Dubé, and Randy Rhoda. But Nelson Pyatt at 18:26 of overtime from Mike Marson scores in Washington. Might save some embarrassment and headaches. Edmonton wins 3-2 on home turf as Jan Denis beats Jack Norris. Edmonton goes by Alex Hemsky, Ben Eager, and Sharon Horkoff. Boston goes by Johnny Busick and Ab McDonald. So the 2012 Oilers are safe in a sense. They're not in the bottom 4, the bottom pit. 65 Bruins will have to do it again. And Oakland wins 2-1 on New Jersey. Suke Smith beats Chico Rash. Oakland goes by Popayin and Ron Harris. Dave Cameron for the Devils. So we go to game 6s, in which Kansas City wins 6-2 as Heron beats Lowe, so that needs a game 7. Washington goes by Lalonde and Cowick. Kansas City goes by Real Lemieux, Croteau, Nick Dubé, Todd Snell, Eddie Gilbert, and then Wilf Paymont. New Jersey beats Oakland 4-1 to force game 7. Chico beats Charlie Hodge. Devil goals by Mel Bridgman, Ken Danico, of all people, Joe Sorella, and Billy McMillan. Oakland goes by Boyer. And we have another game 7. Chicago wins 5-3 as Soderblom beats Ron Tugnutt. Quebec had a chance to survive. Chicago goes Gutman, Avidasidu, Taylor Radish, and Seth Jones. Quebec goes by Joe Sakic, Claude Loisel, and then Guy Lafleur. Yeah, Lafleur put that team. So 3 game 7s. We might as well autoplay. Game 7 as the Devils win 2-1 on home turf. Ron Lowe beats Suke Smith and puts the 68 Seals in the bottom 4. New Jersey goes by Meager and Dodd Lever. Oakland goes by Larry Cahan. Chicago, Quebec. The final score was Chicago wins 5-2 as the 91 Nordiques will now go to the bottom 4. Big win for Soderblom beat Jacques Cloutier. Quebec had a chance. Quebec scored twice, Stephen Finn and Tony Herkach, but Chicago goes by Chandler Jones, maybe? Taylor Radish, Seth Jones, Jonathan Toews finally scoring a goal, and Kurashev. And finally, Kansas City wins 6-2, so the 75 Capitals will be in the bottom 4 as Heron beats Lowe, Kansas City was up 5-0. Paymont, Hudson, Nole, and McElmurray. But Nicholas Dubé scored. Washington goes by Marson with 2, but Washington can't believe their luck. They couldn't beat Kansas City for fuck's sake. So yeah, so we would see Chicago, Kansas City, and New Jersey, Edmonton. But who cares? Well, goals. Sakic had 7 goals for the 91 Nordiques. He was good. It's Joe freaking Sakic. And he had 12 points. Taylor Radish and Seth Jones both had 9. So it was just a dogfight for points and all that. Michel Belhumer had the best goals against. Ron Lowe, 3.6. I feel so bad for him. Belhumer should have played more games. Ron Lowe, 1.34. Without Ron Lowe, the 84 Devils would have been catastrophic. Chico Resch kind of did his job too, but yeah. So we got our bottom 4. The 65 Bruins, the 68 Seals, the 91 Nordiques, and the 75 Capitals. So, by the way, it will be Boston versus Oakland, and Washington will have that advantage against Quebec. So it will be Boston versus Oakland and Washington versus Quebec. To see, that was just randomization to decide who gets in the bottom half. So anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond.